The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is while you're listening to The Walls Close In. It's Monday, February 16th, 2026. I'm John Steele, broadcasting from the sanctuary here in the Catskills, where I just spent 20 minutes trying to explain to Mitch the goat that he can in fact not eat the Wi-Fi booster. He doesn't care. He has the same look in his eyes as a junior senator from Nebraska. Total vacancy.
Well, at least the goat's not trying to sell you a subscription to a freedom-based cloud service like my nephew Vector.
Please, don't mention the kid. I'm Mary Kane, by the way, joining you from the beautiful, siren-filled soundtrack of Queens. We've got a busy show today. Some might say an exhausting one, but we're here to sift through the wreckage so you don't have to do it alone. And look, Mary, before we dive into the current collapse, we should probably acknowledge what we talked about yesterday. We were looking at Governor Beshear's call for ICE reform and that absolute lockout of a bill they're calling the Save America Act, the one designed to make sure you need a literal golden ticket to cast a ballot.
Oh, I'm still steaming about that. And the ICC sanctions, absolute disgrace. We're acting like the neighborhood bully who breaks the windows and then sues the glass company. But look, here's the deal. The war on reality we talked about yesterday just got a lot more expensive.
It did. And look, Mary, I want to start with this EPA thing because it's the kind of legislative constipation that only happens when you decide the plumbing doesn't need to work as long as the faucet looks shiny.
That's exactly it. You're talking about the endangerment finding. This is the big one. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who treats the environment like a personal parking lot, just repealed the 2009 finding. For the folks at home, that finding was the legal holy grail. It was the scientific proof that greenhouse gases actually, hurt people.
Right. It's the Earth is round memo of the federal government, and they just shredded it
and fed it to the dogs. By killing that finding, they've basically pulled the rug out from under every single federal climate regulation we have. They're ending emission standards for cars from 2012 all the way to 2027. They're even stopping those stop-start fuel systems that save you 3 cents at the pump.
Well, here's the thing, Mary. They're claiming this is going to save us, wait for it, $1.3 trillion by 2055. It's the kind of math you do when you've had 4 martinis and you're trying to justify buying a boat.
Is that right? Because I saw the leaked internal regulatory impact analysis from the EPA themselves.
Oh, tell me.
They're projecting the repeal will actually cost $1.5 trillion. That's trillion with the T. It's more expensive to kill the rules because of fuel costs, maintenance, and insurance hikes when the weather starts acting like a toddler with a blue torch.
It's like firing the plumber to save money on the monthly bill and then acting surprised when the basement is full of, It's legislative diarrhea, truly. And look, it's not just the air we breathe. It's the literal name of the building where we plan the wars. The Pentagon is officially, according to the internal memos, operating as the Department of War again.
Honestly, I gotta tell you, at least it's honest. It's like when a life coach finally admits they're just a professional gossiper. But it's the framing that kills me. They're returning to common sense.
Common sense. That's the same common sense HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is using to reset the national dietary guidelines. I mean, I'm all for eating better, but when the guy leading the charge thinks science is a suggestion, it's like asking a pyromaniac to design your fire escape.
You hate to see it, especially since we're seeing this 72-hour blitz of deregulation. It's a smash and grab job on the future.
It is. And look, let's move to the schools, because if you think the air is getting toxic, wait until you see what's happening in the classrooms.
Oh, you mean Secretary of Miseducation Linda McMahon?
Yes. I mean, she's literally dismantling the Department of Education brick by brick. She just laid off 1,400 federal employees because a court said she could. Her goal is to move K-12 management to the Department of Labor.
Wait, so we're treating children like entry-level factory workers now?
Exactly. It's the ultimate union hall nightmare, Mary. She's using these interagency agreements to bypass Congress and just shove tens of billions of dollars into other pockets, like the Interior Department. It's a shell game.
And meanwhile, you've got Turning Point USA, the group my nephew thinks is saving the culture, getting state-level help to put clubs in every single high school in Nebraska. Governor Jim Pillen is out there acting like a franchise manager for them.
It's a quote-unquote youth movement that looks suspiciously like a 1930s recruitment drive. They're leveraging the martyrdom of their late founder to turn public schools into ideological training camps. It's performative masturbation at its finest. They're not teaching kids how to code or read. They're teaching them how to be grievance influencers.
And they're targeting the teachers' unions while they're at it, revoking federal charters, state bills to kill collective bargaining. It's a coordinated hit.
It is. It's the great unraveling of the middle class's last line of defense. And look, speaking of lines of defense, we have to talk about the Board of Peace in the Middle East.
The Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. I still can't say that without my vocal cords seizing up.
It's like the Hannibal Lecter Vegan Society. But here's the deal. Trump announced that this Board of Peace has pledged $5 billion to rebuild Gaza.
$5 billion? John, the UN says it'll take $70 billion to fix the damage.
Right. Look, it's like giving someone a Band-Aid for a severed limb and asking for a Nobel Prize. Indonesia's even pledging 8,000 troops for a stabilization force. But, Mary, look, while they're talking about peace and rebuilding in Gaza, the Israeli cabinet just approved a massive land grab in Area C of the West Bank.
I saw that. They're registering it as state property. It's the old bait and switch. Look at the shiny $5 billion over here while we formalize the annexation over there. It's like a shell game, but the shells are made of tank armor.
It's the war on reality again. You report the peace headline and you ignore the land grab reality. It's enough to want to just stay in the barn with the goats permanently.
Well, before you disappear into the hay, we should mention the one place where things are slightly better, or at least trying to be.
The Olympics?
Yeah. Milano Cortina 2026. They're claiming it's the most gender-balanced Winter Games ever. 47% women.
Well, that's nice. It only took, 100 years? But look, isn't there still a holdout?
Nordic combined. The only sport that's still no girls allowed. Annika Molodzenski, the top U.S. woman in the sport, has been screaming about this for years. The IOC says market-based reasons, which is just the 2026 way of saying, we don't think people want to watch women jump off hills.
Gah, it's the same logic they use for everything. The market doesn't want it, so we'll just legislate it out of existence. It's fascinating, really. We can build a $165 billion deportation machine, but we can't figure out how to let women ski and jump at the same time.
Exactly.
Look, before we get to the really heavy stuff, and believe me, the VDEM report is heavy, we need to talk about why we can even have this conversation. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. He's not a media conglomerate. He's a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations. If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/Neural Network Media to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running.
Couldn't have said it better, John. Eric's the real deal, unlike the guys we're about to talk about.
No kidding. Okay, Mary, put on your war correspondent helmet because we're crossing the Rubicon. According to the VDEM Institute and even the folks at Harvard, the United States has officially crossed the threshold into electoral autocracy.
I'm not gonna lie, John. Hearing those words, it makes my skin crawl. We're officially in competitive authoritarianism. It's not a theory anymore.
Right. It's the reality. And the catalyst, or at least the clearest symptom, is this DHS shutdown that started Saturday morning, 12:01 a.m.
And this is the part that drives me crazy. The shutdown happened because Democrats finally, and I mean finally, tried to put some rules on federal agents. They wanted body cameras. They wanted unique IDs so agents couldn't just hide behind masks. They wanted to stop raids near schools and hospitals.
And the Republicans said no. They called oversight a pretext for open borders. But look, here's the Jon Stewart sputter moment. The shutdown, it doesn't actually stop the deportation machine.
It's unbelievable.
Right? Because of the one big beautiful bill they passed last year, which sounds like something a mob boss would name a yacht, ICE and CBP have $165 billion in multi-year funding. So the agents are out there with high-tech weaponry and thermal drones. But the people who watch them, the oversight offices, the administrative support, they're all furloughed.
So you've got a massive armed force with zero internal accountability because the accountants are all at home without a paycheck. It's like firing the internal affairs department, but giving the beat cops tanks.
It's national edging where nobody gets to finish, Mary. It's constant tension with no release and no rules. And we saw the results in Minnesota, Operation Metro Surge.
Tom Homan, the border czar, says the surge is ending. He's taking 1,000 agents out of the Twin Cities, but he's leaving a security force to deal with agitators.
Agitators. You mean the citizens who were cop watching because 2 U.S. citizens got shot last month?
Exactly. 4,000 arrests in that operation. And the AP is reporting that it's left the community in a state of absolute trauma. And for what? To nationalize the voting process with proof of citizenship laws?
Well, look, that's the GOP's new plight. Trump is calling on them to nationalize election integrity. It's the SAVE Act on steroids. If you can't win the argument, you just make sure the people arguing can't get into the building.
It's a lockout, John. A total lockout of the American voter. And the Democrats are trying to fight back with mid-cycle redistricting, but it feels like bringing a squirt gun to a forest fire.
It's legislative constipation. We're so backed up with corruption and performative cruelty that the system just stops functioning for the people it's supposed to serve. We're an electoral autocracy now. That's the official label.
I gotta tell ya, I've seen this movie before in other countries. You start with emergency measures, you move to nationalizing the rules to favor one side, and you use federal force to quiet the agitators. It's a war on reality. And right now, the reality is winning by a knockout.
Well, look, on that incredibly depressing note, which is really the only note I know how to play, I think we've covered the great unraveling for one day.
We did. We're standing in the rain, John, but at least we're standing together.
Right. Look, if you're listening to this, don't just stare into the middle distance and mutter about the fall of Rome. That's my job. Go out there, support a union, watch your local school board, and for the love of everything, don't let Mitch eat your Wi-Fi booster.
Solidarity, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow to see what else they've managed to break overnight.
Keep your head down. Or up, whichever one makes it harder for them to hit you. Good night, Queens. Good night, Catskills.
Good night, John.
God, I really hate that Department of War thing. It's so so unsubtle.
At least they're finally telling the truth about the plumbing.